We choose the challenging path. Ever forward. It begins with hard work and humility, and the courage to fail.
Let's go!
Strengthened by our community, we make each other better. There are no shortcuts on a lifelong journey. At Vanderbilt, we dare to grow. We choose
Commodore Hour. We are on the road tonight for the first stop in our Commodore Caravan. We're in the beautiful Hackberry Terrace at Truist Park here in Atlanta. It is great to see everybody. Let's hear all of you. It's a good start here. All right, there we go. We're going to have a fun hour ahead for you. Football coach Clark Lea will join us in just a couple minutes here. Also going to hear from Derek Schiller. He is a Vanderbilt alum and and he is the race president and CEO, and a big part of us having this room and this space to have our event tonight. So looking forward to hearing from Derek. Had a chance to visit with him a little bit earlier. Later on in the show, volleyball coach Anders Nelson will talk about getting a program started from scratch like he's doing in Vanderbilt. He'll be online in just a couple of years, but he's been able to get settled in, hire some assistant coaches. Anders will join us in a little bit later on in the show. And also our deputy athletics director, Tommy McClellan, with some updates on Vandy United. If you haven't seen what's going on campus lately, there's a lot of construction in progress. It is a hard hat zone for sure, but those are the signs of progress. It's been really cool to watch. And some great things ahead for Commodore fans to enjoy in the years to come. So get things started on our Commodore Hour show. A couple of notes for you. Vanderbilt baseball finished the sweep of Kentucky yesterday, 3-2, so 2 runs and 9 together for John Beth. There you go. John Beth out in infield hit to tie the game, and Allen Espinal won with a hit to the gap in left center field. Vanderbilt for Tim Corbett 16-5 atop the SEC and still at number 5 this week. Busy week coming up. Tuesday night, tomorrow night against Georgia State, 6 o'clock at Hawkins Field in Alabama. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday down in Tuscaloosa. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. 4 more games coming up. The Vanderbilt really playing great baseball, taking all 3 against Kentucky over the weekend. When we come back, football coach Clark Lea will join us to kick things off our Commodore Caravan. This is Commodore Hour live from Atlanta on Vanderbilt Sports Network.
Because today we break ground on the first major facility being constructed from the ground up through our Vandy United campaign.
But today, by the very act of turning the earth, we turn a page in the Vandy United story. We choose to live by the same words that we challenge our student athletes to embrace. Through Vandy United, we dare to grow together.
Vandy United, we have our own glorious chance to elevate Vanderbilt athletics to new heights. Doing so begins in earnest right now.
Anchor down.
With us on Commodore Hour here inside the Hank Aaron Terrace at Truist Park in Atlanta. Let's hear it. Let's go. All right, our first guest of the night is really the man of the hour here. He's Coach Clark Lea. He'll be part of all these caravan stops. Atlanta tonight. We'll be in Chicago. We're going to go to Memphis and then Houston. But hey, it's a lot of fun to come and connect with fans and alumni and supporters in this way.
No, it is. I didn't appreciate Tommy McClellan. Set me up to have to make some jokes, and I realized you know me better than he does. I'm not that funny, but No, listen, anytime I get a chance to be around a room full of Vanderbilt supporters, that means a lot to me because it's obviously the program school means a ton to me. And so to get to do that as a part of my job, my responsibility to bounce around the country and engage with our fan base and our alumni community, it's a really neat part of what we do, and it's great to be here in Atlanta.
It's a really neat room and facility here, isn't it?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, the stadium is incredible. I took the family down here last year. At that time, they had two Vanderbilt players on the team, and we were anxious to support them, and we enjoyed our experience. We didn't get up into this area, so I appreciate the chance to get up here and see Hank Aaron. What a great piece of baseball history too, and yeah, it's special.
You're a baseball player yourself back in the day, right?
I tried. There's a reason I'm a football coach. I wasn't a very good baseball player, but I think it all worked out in the end.
Give me a takeaway or two from spring practice. We had a spring game here a few weeks ago, and just got into some good work, and now you look ahead down the road to this 23 season.
Well, we're excited. We felt like we built through the spring a team that was playing the best football that we played, best competitive football we played since I've been here. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't always. It's hard to recognize progress, but that's when it's fun to have outside eyes come in. And I remember a conversation with David Culley. He was with us in that last week, and he had been there for the South Carolina week in the season, and he just was making note of how much faster it looked, how much more purposeful the work looked, and you lose sight of that sometimes in the moment. I felt like we got a lot done with respect to building an identity and really knowing who we are. We were really intentional about how we engaged the team that way. I think there were 103 days, we called it team formation. There were 103 days in team formation. We had 70 team meetings. So they heard my voice a bunch, and that was, again, intentional. And I think we came out of it really with an identity set and a core set. And obviously there's a lot of work ahead, but we're excited. And we think this could be a great year for this program to launch. We still have razor-thin margins, so for us, having a great year and having a year that disappoints us is going to come down to a handful of plays. We've got to be ready to win the margins.
You mentioned having David Culley around, and it's neat to see him around the program and having that input. How much does it mean to have him or have other coaches or alumni just come back and be a part of the program again?
Well, I appreciate people that take interest in what we're doing. I think we're doing something different at Vanderbilt in the way we're building this program. And it means a lot when outsiders come in and take an interest. Obviously, there are people that have been a part of my coaching past that are interested and are supporting our efforts. But when it's an alum, it means everything. And I think particularly because we don't have that tradition history yet in our football program that people are called back into, and we're rallying to create that community now. But to have Coach Culley, to have alums back, to let them be a part of what we're building, for them to know that this is their program, I'm their coach, and my office is their living room. I think is an important statement to say it's time that we build out a Vanderbilt community that's helping us grow this program forward. And Coach Culley's been early in on that, and that's been the guy that has become really a dear friend of mine. And that's a great Vanderbilt story. Here's two alums in different generations. Though he looks younger than me, I'm actually younger than two. He's taken his time to build into me professionally and to support our program. And we both rose to levels of success, in the coaching industry, all off the back of the time we spent at Vanderbilt as a student athlete. And a neat Vanderbilt story, and what a great friend of mine and a great friend of our program.
Another neat Vanderbilt story is the guy who just signed with the New Orleans Saints after the draft, Anthony Orji. He had a fantastic career. Last two seasons, over 200 tackles combined with the 21 and 22 years. How special and great, and just a testament to what this program is about to see him have a chance now to play the next level.
Well, listen, if we had 2 hours, I could talk to you about how I feel about Anthony Orji. I mean, this is a guy that has persevered through a really challenging career, showed loyalty and commitment to Vanderbilt that I think I just have so much respect for. It wasn't easy for him. He battled through position changes, coaching changes, and yet he was the guy that I really relied on as a leader for our team. And he already knows how to be a pro. I mean, look, I wanted to hear his name called, and he deserved to have his name called. That part of the weekend was really painful for me. I know, for him too. But in the end, now he needs to shift his attention to football. And that's where he's going to win. This guy has process. He's a pro, and I can't wait to watch him flourish for the Saints. Can't wait to watch him, not just make that team, but make an impact there. And I'm so happy to see him on his way to a great career.
That's a whole to fill on the defense too. We can have some talented guys in those linebacker spots, a chance to fill some of that void with those tackles he's racked up the last few seasons. What do you like about that linebacker group?
We have depth. I mean, it's not going to be one or two guys. It's going to be a team of guys. And we're excited. I think Dave Lozinski's done a great job with that group and pouring into them day in, day out. And we're going to both build upon the progress we made this spring with the guys that we have, and then we return some guys from injury too. I'd be remiss not to bring up Arrington Truesdell, who's in Atlanta, and a guy who's really battled a lot of adversity. I think about, there's a lot that I've wanted to forget about that first year. The truth is we are a part of all that we have met. I mean, that's an important part of this program's climb to this point, but I'll never forget watching Arrington run down on kickoff against Georgia that year in a game that, was particularly painful, but he was the guy that was playing fearlessly and belonged on that field and made a point. And he battled injury last year, and it was frustrating for him, but we're going to get him back and healthy, and he's going to join a group that really I feel like is built into a really capable unit, and that kind of embodies what we're trying to do as a program. It's not one person or two people, it's a group of people that are aligned in the vision for what's possible, and they're fighting for it every day, and that's who we're going to be at Vanderbilt football.
You've quite a few good Atlanta area, Georgia natives that have played in this Vanderbilt program. One of them is one of your quarterbacks, A.J. Swan, back for year two. How can he take another step in his sophomore season?
Well, hopefully. I mean, A.J., one of the things I loved about him, and I recognize it immediately, really, honestly, in the recruiting process, it's just nothing was too big for him. He's a guy that has a knack for playing on a big stage and big moments, and that showed up for us a year ago. So as a freshman, he really had a demeanor and competitive spirit about him that I felt like he played like a veteran. What I'm excited for is that now he's spent, a full year in our strength and conditioning program. He's building on his frame. He's going to become a more dangerous passer as he gets to know our systems in more depth and detail. The game will slow down for him. And so, what I'm pushing him to do, and you've got to understand too, this is a very interesting time because we have, on the whole, moved on a lot of, graduated a lot of the players that were with us there in the first year, and we brought in a ton of young players. And so the roster is really interesting to look at right now. We're calling a lot of our young players into leadership, and AJ needs to be a part of that. If you're going to be a starting quarterback, you have to also know what it means to be accountable and dependable as a teammate to lead the team through this next stretch, which is the great teams come together in the winter and spring, and then set a course to launch in the summer. He needs his voice needs to be heard, his model and example need to be seen. Those will be things we'll be working with on as we keep going.
Coach Clark Lea, our guest here on Commodore Hour and here at Truist Park in Atlanta. We're going to come back in just a moment, have more of the coach, and also a visit with Derek Schiller. He is the Atlanta Braves president and CEO. It's all coming up on Commodore Hour on the Vanderbilt Sports Network.
We choose the challenging path. Ever forward. It begins with hard work and humility and the courage to fail.
Let's go!
Strengthened by our community, we make each other better. There are no shortcuts on a lifelong journey. At Vanderbilt, we dare to grow.
We're inside the Hank Aaron Terrace at Truist Park here in Atlanta, home of the Atlanta Braves. We're Commodore Hour at the beginning of our Commodore Caravan. We have more of our visit with head football coach Clark Lea coming up in a couple minutes. I want to have a chance for you to hear my conversation with Derek Schiller. He is the Atlanta Braves president and CEO, and he is a graduate of the Vanderbilt Engineering School, which is an interesting path to become a baseball executive. But we talk about his connections with our university and also having the Commodores right here in the Braves Hall. Joined by Atlanta Braves president and CEO and Vanderbilt alum Derek Schiller. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's a neat space, isn't it? Tell me about it.
So we're in Truist Park, and specifically you're in the area called Hank Aaron Terrace. So obviously, with the way in which we wanted to celebrate the legacy of Hank Aaron, it was really important to have spaces inside the ballpark that commemorate him. This is one of those places. It's got a bunch of memorabilia around here. And obviously, it's a really special place in the ballpark. We also have a big statue of Hank Aaron behind home plate, so many places around the ballpark we can one.
What's so special about your connection with Vanderbilt?
Well, I suppose it's first of all that I had a great time while I was there. I have fond memories. I always really think about the way in which they were prepared for that role. And it's really unusual for me to say because I'm an engineering degree for Vanderbilt. So there I am on a sports team, and you wouldn't necessarily think that was an easy path. In a lot of ways, Vanderbilt College, I think problem solved. And I think the engineering degree, especially for that, probably came a little more handy when we were building the ballpark and building the batteries too. So I was able to look at things a little bit differently. But I just have a connection. I find this and I really appreciate that.
I stole my next question. I was going to ask you how involved were you with this place was under construction? Did they have to chase you out of that?
A lot of the architects were involved. Civil engineering majors really overlay. We got a pretend engineer here that's affiliated with our project. But in all seriousness, I think it just gave me a way to look at things a little bit different, perhaps. Somebody else that's just had a professional And I hope in a lot of ways it is ballpark for reaching so there's a lot of things that they would do.
Your family also has a unique connection to the Southeastern Conference. With your father's history, explain.
Yes, my dad was a former commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. He became that in 1886. And so he moved from California to Alabama. He took over from Vanderbilt as my role for a while, including some of the exclusion here at the SEC. I have a really good connection to the SEC.
It's impressed you not the way Clark Lea's gone about to build this football program.
First of all, I like the connection that he has to me. I think that having that understanding of what type of institution is a good business, that kids that you try to get to school, where you try to get their kids and try to improve and follow that. That's something.
Great to visit with him. He's a graduate of the Vanderbilt Engineering School. These days, the baseball executive for one of the top franchises, and they have it for a long time. World Series championships a couple of seasons ago. Visit again with Coach Clark Lea, and he was talking about appreciating just the connection you made with your alma mater as head coach, just how you feel that little extra special part of things. How has that worked for you these seasons? Good back as head coach.
Yeah, it makes it extra special. I think it's personal. So the highs are a little bit more high, the lows are maybe a little more low. So it can be a challenge to know the DNA of the place, to be how they place. It forces you to have a little different perspective on what your actual responsibility is in fulfilling the job, and that's to be the caretaker of the next generation of leaders that come out of Vanderbilt. And that's an honor to be a part of it. It helps me to just keep a focus again on the things that I need to be executing on from a holistic perspective and coaching the whole person. And, it's never really about me. It's about Vanderbilt football. And it's about how we're, putting a mark right now to say, in sport, this program is going to be different, and this is how it's going to be different. And we want to make sure that the guys that are a part of our program and graduate after being a part of our program are able to launch into the long-term impact that a Vanderbilt graduate should have. And that's a critical part of our kind of vision of what this program is all about.
When you look out the window of your office, you see tangible signs of progress, don't you, with the construction team?
Yeah, the view from my office has gotten exponentially better as they've gotten that something that I appreciate that. I'll know that was the reason for it. But no, it's exciting. I think, we've shifted from, when is it going to start to, we're in it now, and there's going to be certain inconveniences around, just where we can walk, where we can park. As we get into official visits in June, we'll have to shift some of our operation around, but boy, do we love that kind of inconvenience. I mean, it's incredible to see how fast they're moving through it, and it's easy now to kind of get the picture in your mind of what it's going to look like and how special it's going to be.
We're all going to get our steps in, aren't we? As well as the new pathways and stuff. I want to go back to your team and here and now. I feel like this receiver core has a chance to be a real strength with this team, especially when you got like Will Shepard. What do you like about that group and just some of the speed you've seen over the last couple of years?
Well, Alex Bailey is with us tonight, so Coach Bailey, I don't know if Coach Bailey prompted you to say that, but no, we love that group. I think what's been interesting is we weren't sure how that crew would shape up a year ago. I think we were still, there was just a lot that was up in the air. We need to see the emergence of Quincy Skinner, the emergence of Kamarion Carter, and obviously with what Jaden's done too. I mean, we feel like, plugging those guys in with Will and continue to develop some of our younger depth. And we got a quarterback that can get the ball there. And so that becomes a focal part of our offense, and it's exciting. Our tight ends too, Justin Ball returns, Cole Spence, who's another local product. Both guys that I thought had really good springs and stepped into new levels of performance. I think we had a chance to put together a really nice passing attack. And obviously for us, we know that our identity is going to start with the physical run game. I think we showed development on our offensive line a year ago, and we expect that to continue. But certainly we get excited about getting the ball out of the perimeter and taking our shots down the field. And we need to become more explosive offensively. We feel like we have the ingredients to do that.
What's the near future like for you as you lead into thinking about getting things started later on in the summer and getting ready for this 23 season?
Well, we'll take some time here. Our players will. In fact, I wanted to have the guys with us here tonight that are from the area. I think that would be really cool. We're going to do that in some of the other caravan styles, but unfortunately they're still in finals, so they're finishing up their semester. They'll get some downtime, but it's all relative. They're going to still have to stay in shape and make sure we're positioned to have a great June. We'll get it back on campus at the end of the month, and we'll start our summer program in earnest. That'll go June, July. And then we start fall camp, because we're another week 0 game. So we'll start fall camp at the end of July. And then, we take the plunge at that point. But I wish that I could say that it's, a lot of downtime. What I've realized in this job is there really is never a downtime, which is a great thing, by the way. It's a lot of fun to be out and about. But for me personally, I'll take a couple of trips with the family, try to get to the beach and enjoy some time with my wife and kids. And then, what I do selfishly is I fold them into our football operation too. So we've got a lot of young families on staff, and so to me, it's been a great thing as a head coach to be able to say, kids at practice, kids at meals. I think it gives the players a chance to see us in roles other than just being coach. One of my favorite things that happened a year ago was it started as a solution to a parenting problem, which we all have. And I think my oldest son, C3, had a hockey game Friday night, and my wife was stressed out about, having the younger two, which anyone who's been around Barn and Baby Jack, they know the energy levels are through the roof. And so I said, just just send them to me, and I'll take them over to the team field. And so, quickly kind of made it a rule for the staff. Hey, if you want to bring your families on Friday nights before Saturday games, feel free to do that. Well, to me, Friday is about fellowship, and we have to make time and take time to celebrate the people we're around, the journey we're on. Saturday we shift focus back, and obviously Friday night after the meal there's more preparation. Saturday is a very intense experience. It's an emotional experience, but Friday we need to celebrate each other. Well, I've got baby Jack and Mara at the Friday team meal, and I'm thinking I'm going to get another meal with them, to sit with their dad and hang out. Well, they're not sitting with me. They're finding the players and sitting with the players. And so what happens then is when it's a table's turn to go eat, they're taking my kids up and fixing them a plate and interacting with them at a level that looks like a parent. It's a really cool thing to me to see. And I'm so proud of the players because as a parent, and as a coach, what better people to be role models for your children. And you find out a lot of the personalities of the players too. It's a really neat thing, but I try to make Vanderbilt football a place where young people can come in and look at their heroes and it's not just about playing like these guys. It's how they live, how they conduct their business, everything that they do. I think it's a great example for the kids on our staff, and so every chance we get, we have them around.
Doing a great job with it. Coach Clark Lea, everybody. We'll come back for a final hour as we continue our Commodore Caravan stop here in Atlanta. I'm Mr. Nelson, and we'll follow up Coach Jones is next on Vanderbilt Sports Network from here.
I follow only.
Nelson, Vanderbilt volleyball coach, and a guy who's starting up his own program from scratch, a program that's getting you started at Vanderbilt, be online here in a couple of years. So, what a cool senior, huh?
Awesome. It's so great to be in Atlanta, so great to be with Vanderbilt, and Atlanta's one of the best cities in the country for junior volleyball, so I'm down here a lot, and I always love coming back.
How have you been able to get settled in?
Oh, it's been easy. Honestly, it's been easy to transition down to Vanderbilt, and when you work for someone like Candace, it makes it a little bit easier when you work in a department like this where everyone's willing to help, and the coaches, including Clark Lea, Zach, and Shay, all are willing to help and kind of teach you the ropes, and it becomes a lot easier of a transition.
What are some of the things you think learned from those folks you mentioned?
I think just recruiting at Vanderbilt is a little bit different than recruiting anywhere else, and I think those are the reasons that make Vanderbilt one of the best places to play as a collegiate athlete in the country. But just learning some of the academic intricacies of recruiting at Vanderbilt, learning about the city, and just learning how to kind of operate in a new environment. Again, those things become a lot easier when you have great people looking at you.
Because you had their coaching staff, Russell Rovelli, Warren Plum, a lot of experience with those two, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I've done two things right so far, it's the assistants that I've hired. And Russell actually spent some time at Stanford and won a couple national championships with them. His mom was a head coach at A&M for 25 years. His sister is actually the assistant coach at Auburn right now. So volleyball's in his blood, and he is just doing a great job so far. Really well-rounded guy. And then Lauren Plum, she's kind of our pit bull, our competitor on staff. Her little sister is Kelsey Plum, actually, who's in the WNBA, a superstar there. She was a first-team All-American at Oregon, played pro for 6 or 7 years, coached at Notre Dame, so a really good fit for our staff. And like I said, I couldn't be more pleased with what they've done so far.
What were the characteristics you were looking for in assistant coaches?
I think the first thing is just starting from scratch. You need somebody who's got a long-term mindset. Both Lauren and Russ, a little bit younger, wanted to build something, they're very serious about building something, but also understanding that things are not going to be smooth and easy at all times. And when you're starting a program like this, and like we are, we're not going to do everything perfectly on the first stride through. So they had to put up with some very small offices for their QBs and things like that. But neither of them batted an eye at all. And again, I was looking for people that were well-rounded, but also really had a commitment to build.
Yeah, speaking of building, you planned right in the middle of the Bank United program, all the construction, it's really interesting to watch all, isn't it?
Oh, it's exciting, and just so grateful to be joining at this time. We have Candace and Jason here leading us through this transformational time for Vanderbilt athletics. And yeah, you look outside, and it's hard to not smile because you know how different it's going to look. And Candace had a great point the other day in an all-staff meeting saying at some point it's going to look like it was always this way.
Yeah.
And we're just really excited for that.
Yeah, that was after they showed us the map of all the way we were going to watch that. But it's going to be fantastic when it's all done. Tell people about your background, including time with that championship program up at Lexington.
Yeah, I grew up in a small town in northern Wisconsin and got into volleyball because my older sister played, but she played at Minnesota and went to a couple Final Fours, so I got exposed to really high-level college volleyball at a young age, and I just got hooked. And I ended up playing at Ball State in Muncie, Indiana, and was fortunate to get a job in Kentucky right out of college, working for another alum at Ball State. And again, I'm obsessed with building, so that's why this job attracted me here at Vanderbilt. But at Kentucky, we were able to build a championship program and won a national championship. And we were just the 11th school to ever win a national championship and the first SEC school to win one. And those are some of the things I'm most proud about. And what I dreamed about doing here at Vanderbilt. And when I took this job, I knew I was going to take the job anywhere that I didn't feel like we win national championships in time. And I still feel that way, and Russell and Warren feel that way, and we're ready to do the same thing here.
So how does recruiting work as you start to build the roster for what you actually need that you start to do?
Yeah, that's probably the most complex part of the job right now is how to form this first roster. And we have 6 commits right now in the 2024 class, and they'll come in and redshirt their first year. We'll bring another group of freshmen in 2025, and hopefully a couple transfers so we have a little bit of experience. So we're not taking the floor with only 18 and 19-year-olds that first match. Yeah, that's probably the difficulty is just how do you allocate scholarships, how do you make up your roster when there's so much unknown in the future. But it's been super fun, and we're looking for athletes that want it to be hard. We know it's going to be tough at times, and building a program from scratch, you got to pave your own path. You don't get to follow anyone else's path. But as I sit here and talk to recruits in their living room or in my office, and I say these things, some of them light up and smile. And when that happens, I know that they'd be a great fit for our program, and some of them kind of cower away, and we move on, and they move on. So I would say that's kind of the athlete we're looking for, but it's a really easy place to start. I can honestly say that.
Anders Nelson's our guest, Vanderbilt volleyball coach. Isn't it hard to sell when you don't have a season coming up right here, right in front of it, and you have to look down the road and make people see the vision of what you want to build?
I think for some people it is, and like I said, some people are not looking for the experience that we can provide in terms of being the first. But some people are really excited about getting our first win or making the first NCAA tournament, things like that. And I think our kind of motto is why be next when we can be first. And that does attract to a lot of people, and I think the academics that Vandy can provide, and the city that we can provide, and the SEC. Again, I don't really think there's a better place to play college volleyball than Nashville.
And Nashville is a pretty big hub of volleyball, right? For high school, travel volleyball, all those things.
Yeah, it's been fun just hearing the excitement from the town and from the volleyball community in Nashville, just how excited they are to get SEC volleyball in Nashville. And I already have people asking me for tickets when we play Florida, Kentucky, and Texas in 2025. So I guess it's a good time to jump on the bandwagon if you want tickets for those.
It's never too early to start.
Exactly.
What do you enjoy about events like this? You come out and just visit with folks and make those connections.
I'm still learning so much about Vanderbilt, so getting to talk to Vandy alums is really exciting. And I just talked to two who actually lived in the same dorm, and things like that are really fun to hear. They both remember their room numbers from this dorm, so things like that are really fun to get to learn. And I get to learn about the changes that are happening at Vanderbilt and how it's different from when they were there. But yeah, just getting immersed in Vanderbilt culture and just the pride that the alums have is really exciting to come to things like this.
Do you remember your dorm room numbers from Ball State?
I don't. I know. Must be
that's right. What's ahead for you this summer?
More recruiting. So May, we have a little bit of downtime here, but we are hosting some summer camps this summer. So it'll be the first year of those, and we don't have a huge alumni base to pull from, obviously, or a fan base to pull from already. So everyone in the crowd here, I would appreciate some help. You can get some Atlanta up to Nashville for summer camp. We greatly appreciate it. But running some camps, and we're going to recruit like crazy, and that's the name of the game for us right now. And again, we're really hungry, and Russell, Lamar, and I have really lofty goals with where we want these recruit class rankings to fall, and I think we have a chance to bring in a top 15, top 10 class in that 2025 class, so we're working on that.
Myers Nelson, great to have you with us. Really appreciate the time and all the best going forward. It's such a good program. We're going to go follow our coach. We're also going to come back with more of Commodore Hour here in Atlanta. Deputy Athletics Director Tommy McClellan joins us next from the Hank Aaron Terrace in Truist Park. We're coming right back. The Vanderbilt Sports Network from there.
Because today we break ground on the first major facility being constructed from the ground up through our Vandy United campaign.
But today, by the very act of turning the earth, we turn a page in the Vandy United story. We choose to live by the same words that we challenge our student athletes to embrace. Through Vandy United, we dare to grow together.
Vandy United, we have our own glorious chance to elevate Vanderbilt athletics to new heights. Doing so begins in earnest right now.
Anchor down.
over the next 2 weeks, we'll be here at Truist Park in the beautiful Hank Aaron Terrace. I was joking earlier, I know up to 755 questions for our interview guest. Our next guest is a guy well known, of course, from Commodore Nation. He was a heavy athletics director, Tommy McFly. What a fun turnout, what a fun event tonight.
These are fantastic. I think these events are so important, and it's good to kind of get back on track on these. COVID kind of took them off the books, but throughout the year, we're asking people to come to Nashville. We're asking you all to come and support our student athletes and make the investment in your time and your resources to come and support us. And so this is our opportunity to come to where you are and say thank you. Thank you for what you do and your support. Thank you for supporting your university and our student athletes. And so we're here to thank you. We're here to meet with you, give you updates, but it's our way of saying thanks.
Explain it again, just how it came together to be here in Atlanta, especially in this space.
Yeah, I mean, well, as you interviewed Derek earlier, the president and CEO of the Atlanta Braves, we have that direct connection. Atlanta is a hot spot for our alums already. We have so many people that have opportunities and jobs and workforce when they leave Vanderbilt. This is one of those hot spots. But also, it's helpful to have that connection, to be able to come to a ballpark like this, and it's a meaningful relationship where he's willing to get on the radio with you and have a conversation. So we're so grateful for Derek and his willingness to put on this event and help us, and so thankful for you to come here tonight.
On these video screens in this room, showing Van United and some of the projects that are ahead, give us the update of what's going on with construction. I mean, it's very tangible and visible if you walk around the Vanderbilt campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, two years ago, March of 21, we announced the Van United campaign, $300 million, and we were going to start to do these projects, and now we're starting. If you've been on campus at all, or if you've gone to the website and see the live camera that you can see, the north end, which is the area where the Marriott is already under construction. That's the basketball practice facility. It is a 3-level facility. It will kind of connect to Memorial Gym. It will be the day-to-day home for all things basketball other than game day. They will be able to do everything they need to do in that space. But because of its proximity to football, it will close in that end zone. There you go, good timing. It'll close in, and it makes it a very organic experience for the football game day experience. And so that's going on right now. This fall, you should see erected steel going up in that area. On the south end zone, again, great timing. This is being torn down now. There was a bowl area. There were a lot of season tickets holders in there. We've had to move some folks, but that's an area that's really being demolition is going on now. And so, I mean, you could be in Clark Lea's office and see the football field. And it's an odd sight as you come to basketball, baseball games, and those things to see the construction zone. But I know that I've had a couple of questions from some folks in the audience, and maybe those that are listening. We are playing football at First Bank Stadium this fall, and so although there is construction going on, we will have a field and we will have an east and a west side of the stadium, and we're really excited to continue the home field advantage there for our team.
We got a reminder the other day, it's like, hey, this construction's going on, everybody needs to kind of stay back a little bit. I felt like they were talking to me because that's sort of the
well, we got you on camera.
We know. I wish I had known there was a camera, but I mentioned it into one of the little portals there and said, hey, what's going on here? But it really is cool and to think about what's ahead and how nice those spaces are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're transformative. And, we've in addition to those initial 3 projects, which is the basketball practice facility in the south end zone of Magoogan, since then we've announced some projects in tennis, in golf, which is our facility in Franklin, the Legends Golf Course. And then there are going to be some other announcements that we have coming on. And so we're not only living up to the things that we announced 2 years ago, but we're being challenged to see where we grow from here. And so we're excited about that. I think there's some things to stay tuned on, and we're looking forward to how we set our eyes to the future and continue to figure out ways to improve not only the student-athlete experience, but the fan experience around Vanderbilt athletics.
And in that vein, how do people support Vanderbilt?
Yeah, I think as you think about a menu of options, one thing I will say is early on in Clark Lea's tenure here, he talked about with his team, we're going to defend every blade of grass, right? And so when you think about what makes up a football field, it's a lot of little blades of grass, but it equals a field. Equally, when you think about how you can support Vanderbilt Athletics, there are a menu of things that you can do that all make a difference. It is not incumbent upon one person or one donor or one family to do it all. It takes everyone pulling in the same direction. Buying season tickets, buying merchandise, being around Atlanta, wearing your Vanderbilt gear, that makes a difference. Being philanthropic, supporting Vandy United, helping us achieve the vision of the future. Supporting our excellence funds so that our coaches can do those extra things that they need to do. And then now in this modern day in college athletics, it's being a part of the NIL space, supporting the collective in their efforts to support our student athletes. That's the menu of options as you think about how you can support Vanderbilt athletics moving forward.
Well, they had an NIL when you were playing, man. You could clean up.
I would have got free chips and salsa at Nikki's every day of the week. That would have been my deal.
You were talking about giving. We just had Giving Day a couple days ago on campus. It was a big success. That whole thing got a little competitive, man. That was a good thing.
It's awesome. You know, that starts with our leader, Candace Lee. I mean, Candace is an amazing, amazing leader, and she's challenging us. It's not, you know, from a staff department standpoint, we got real competitive about what can be our percentage. And I can tell you all, listen, if you don't think that we as a staff are committed to what we're doing and the vision that Candace Lee has, hear me when I say that our staff gave at 98% of the entire staff gave on Giving Day at some level. And that's a big deal. That means that the entire department is bought in for what they are themselves doing, and that they're taking their part. And that's another example of fighting for every blade of grass. You know, and those gifts, they range in all shapes and sizes, okay? But they all tally up to a total. But more importantly, it sends a message that we're all in this together, and we believe in what we're doing.
And we appreciate everybody here believing in what we're doing. And you know, big thanks to the folks here with the Atlanta Braves and Truist Park and Derek Show and everybody just having us out here. We're going to have some fun stuff too coming up later this week and then again next week.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to, we'll be in Chicago on Thursday, Memphis next Monday, and then in Houston the following day on Tuesday. And again, this is our opportunity to go make the investment to give back, to thank each and every one of you for what you do to help move us forward each and every year.
Tommy McClellan, Deputy Athletics Director, thanks for joining us. And again, the audience with us is going to be part of the stadium tour of Truist Park. We'll be doing that coming up at 8:05 Eastern Time, right after we're done with our Commodore Hour show. We're also going to announce our giveaways too when we're done with the show, so stay tuned for that. Going to come back and wrap things up from Atlanta in just a moment on the Vanderbilt Sports Network. From there. things up for Atlanta at Truist Park and the beautiful Hank Aaron Terrace. The only way it can be any better is that there's a baseball game going on behind us. We've had a great time. It's been awesome having all of our Vanderbilt fans and supporters out here joining us here for just a little bit. Thanks to football coach Clark Lea. Thanks to Eric Shore and Anders Nelson and Tommy McClellan for stepping up here and hanging out with us for a few minutes and being the guest on our show tonight. Again, we'll be in Chicago coming up on Thursday, in Memphis on Monday, and Houston on Tuesday. So if you're in any of those areas, please come out and join us for our Commodore Caravan stops over the next couple of weeks. Mentioned this earlier, Vanderbilt baseball completed the Super Kentucky on Sunday, 2 runs tonight, going 3-2. Allen has gone all the way ahead now at number 5, so number 5 is right now 16-5 at the top of the SEC. Tomorrow night, Georgia State, 6 o'clock at home. Continue to bring in at 5:45. Andrew will have a radio call on the TV, SEC Network Plus on Andrew Harris. Men's golf will find out at Cincinnati Regional Destination on Wednesday. 6 regional science tournament begins on May 15th. Congratulations to Gordon Sargent as well. He's been named to the U.S. team for the 2nd straight year. Ronald Palmer Cup that's coming out in June in Laurel Valley near Pittsburgh. Just played the Masters down the road 3 weeks ago. His 3 wins this season. Of course, the Vanderbilt squad really poised to win another deep run in the NCAA tournament. Maybe get that championship done. It's just a great program, fantastic season. So all the best coach on this team. Going to Ross, finished up a regular season Saturday over Temple. Track and field saw a number of wins. Great performances in Houston City Challenge over the weekend. So congratulations there. Men's tennis player David Hawks is also named the SEC All-Freshman team. Congratulations to Coach Ian Duke in an amazing career. Just wrapped up, and he's just a wonderful man. It was cool to see him saluted. We gathered as a staff on campus the other day. But congratulations, Coach Ian Duke, on a fantastic career. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Wiley. Thanks again,